I was thinking just a few minutes ago, apropos of nothing really, um, of what it must have been like to grow up in a culture where all of the institutions that surrounded you were supportive of you, were supportive of you and your bloodline and your ancestors and your traditions and uh, where the culture that surrounded you affirmed you as a man if you were a man, or you as a woman if you were a woman, and reinforced what was right and normal and good instead of incessantly telling you that your bloodline was evil and that if you're a man, you're evil and that you need to unlearn the things that come naturally to you if you're a man. And if you're a woman, you need to unlearn the things that come naturally to you if you're a woman. You know, I don't have any, even though I'm older than most of you, I don't really have a memory like that. It was more like that. Things were more like that growing up in the 70s and 80s. I can say that much. There was more normalcy. Things had not gone so overboard. Um, the Cultural Revolution hadn't progressed to the point where it started in the 90s, which was really the beginning of political correctness, which prefigured woke. Um, so growing up in the late 70s, being a first grader in 1977 or 78, whenever it was, um, you know, seeing uh, patriotic songs and praise of the founding fathers and the the institutions that they created, and depictions of people who looked like me, living, I mean, in a broad sense, who looked like me in that we were all white, and you know that there was nothing wrong with the fact that we were all white, and that in fact, it was completely natural, and in fact, it was normal. It would have been unusual for there to be exceptions, you know. Uh, and I just realized I'm wistful for that. For It's not something my kids got to have, even though they didn't grow up, even though we they were in a Catholic school for most of their education. Uh, so it's not like they were, and it's not like they would have been subjected to the worst of the worst, even if they were in public schools. It's not like we grew up in uh, San Francisco or Portland or someplace like that, where there'd be hate propaganda about everything that's normal, and we'd be they'd be teaching him to put on condoms at age 2, and about telling him about anal sex at age 4, and and I'm not. The sad thing is that I'm not even exaggerating, and that I'm not. You know, I just like I know we can't go back, but we can only go forward. We have to deal with what we've got. Uh, um, like this is what I guess one of those never forget what they took from you kind of moments for me. And again, this is apropos really not of much of anything. It just occurred to me. I think it was being back in Barnes and Ignoble again and thinking, most of these books are written by people who hate me as a person and who hate the group that I belong to, and who hate me even more, knowing uh, uh, knowing um, you know knowing the ways in which I've been categorized as a writer, as a thinker, and so forth. What would it be like to grow up, to live somewhere where your normal, natural inclinations were not treated with hatred and contempt? It's a different world. It would be a different world. It would be a better world. And I hope we have a better world like that soon, whatever it takes.